With me on the Reelblack podcast today is a good friend of mine, and he's got some exciting news for you, Mr. Robert X. Golphin. Welcome to the show. This is the first time this is the second time I've interviewed you.
Second time. First time was about a decade ago when I acted in The Great Debaters.
Yeah, we wanted to let people know about that at the time. So, there'll be a link in the description for that interview. You can see this gentleman. He has not changed his physical appearance. He's Benjamin Button of the Philadelphia motion picture industry. But I wanted to have you on this time because you have even more exciting news. You have a film that you directed. Can you tell people about it?
Well, it's definitely a full circle moment to be back with my feature-length directorial debut after spending many years making short films and web series. But Freshman Friday is an HBCU-themed comedy about a young man experiencing his first week at college, getting ready for the first freshman dance. And I was really excited to be able to direct this. I didn't write the script. The script was written by Stephen Slates, but I was able to direct this at my alma mater, St. Augustine's University in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Fantastic.
And now it's on Amazon Prime.
Good morning, freshmen. Is that my time? Congratulations on your acceptance into the prestigious St. Albans College.
Yeah, we did that.
My bad, mine wasn't big enough. You're a little guy. Use mine.
Yeah. Keg stand.
You going, right? Spencer's afraid of the ladies.
We ain't go to class. Smoke a blunt and hit the cash. We ain't even going to class.
You're one of the freshmen.
Just talked to Spencer, and he told me that somehow he got $20 and is on his way to the parking lot right now to save the night.
Parking lot? Man, he's gonna get robbed. We need to go save him.
What you planning to do, Robin?
College can be the best time of your life.
Damn, okay, bro.
What's your name, kid?
I just feel like I'm so different from everybody here.
The film stars NAACP Theater Award winner Jarrell O'Neal, Brian McKnight Jr., and a host of other talented actors from all over the United States, from Los Angeles to Philadelphia. And the writer, like I said, Stephen Slates, who also stars in the film, he and I went to school with each other. And years ago, he said, one day I'm going to come back to campus, we're going to make a movie, and you're going to be involved. So we lost touch for a few years. And then a mutual friend got us back into contact. And he said, listen, I've got this script I wrote about my experiences at St. Aug and some experiences that friends of mine had, and I want you to direct it. So after I read the script, it was a no-brainer. I had to do it. And even though I'm kind of a drama guy and this is a comedy, I said, you know what? This could be the thing to do to kind of stretch my range a bit. And that's how it came about. And it was like a family reunion when we went back to campus to shoot, because so many people involved with the film were people that I went to school with or people that went to St. Aug after I did. And it was a beautiful thing.
Well, it came out great, so congratulations. This is only one step in this long journey that you've run. I mean, and even though, I should be clear, Robert was one of our original hosts of Reelblack TV when we first started in 2007, So I've known you since then, or even before then, because we were kind of making films at the same time. But when you talk about your story, your history, your legacy, what was the impetus for you wanting to be in show business? Because I know you were like a kid reporter at one time too. You've done everything. You sing. I've never seen you dance, but
no, I can't do that, Mike. Not at all.
You're a double threat.
Well, I could dance as a kid. I used to do all the Michael Jackson moves as a kid, and then I don't know. I kind of lost my mojo for some reason with the dancing.
Well, take it back to a kid. What made you want to be behind the scenes at first, and being a filmmaker, a kid filmmaker, and then ultimately, I guess most people watching would know you from The Great Debaters.
Well, interestingly enough, when I was about 5 or 6, my mom put me into modeling troupes and modeling classes. So I did some commercials when I was young, but I wasn't bitten by the bug at that point. I kind of was just exploring different things. a group called the Kids Today Show, I believe out of Plainfield, New Jersey, and I was a part of that. I wanted to be a doctor for the longest time, but I had chronic nosebleeds as a kid, so I couldn't stand the sight of actual blood. I can do with fake blood, but not real blood. So then I said, okay, I want to be an attorney, entertainment attorney or humanitarian law. But at age 12, that's when I found out what my calling was, because I went to this arts camp called Cinekid in Willow Grove, and I got to play with all of the expensive equipment, and I just fell in love, and it hit me then, oh, this is what I'm born to do. And yeah, I mean, it's a tough road, but I strive every day to just try to do what I've always had a passion for since I was 12.
Role models and mentors. I mean, was there any
Yes.
advice that you got at the earlier stages of your career?
Well, some of my role models and mentors, aside from you, of course, include Larry Smallwood, the director of the Philadelphia International Film Festival. I started volunteering with his festival when I was 13, I guess, and so I learned a lot from him, and then of course the obvious Spike Lee and one of my favorite directors, Jonathan Demme, and in more recent years, Ava DuVernay, hands down. It's one of my biggest inspirations. I try to follow the careers of people whose careers I'd like to emulate a bit. And so it's a mixture of people that are in the business and people that aren't in the business, because I know some of my strongest support systems are people that can't necessarily do anything to advance my career from a phone call standpoint, like, oh, you need to hire Robert for this or blah, blah, blah. But they can help advance my career by continuing to keep me motivated and keep me focused, because it's very easy to just say, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to stop now and figure something else out. I can't do that. I feel like I have one. I don't want to disappoint myself, but I also have family and friends and loved ones whom I could never disappoint by stopping the pursuits that I have.
So, well, highlight some of your other experiences. I don't want to make this, boom, 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 because we're all progressing and growing.
So Freshman Friday wasn't the only film I released. Well, I didn't release it last year. The producers did. But I directed and wrote a short film called Essential last year, which we made during the pandemic. I believe it's a 15-minute short about a family that's broken, trying to get back to, well, not trying to figure out how they can repair the divide, even amid being apart from each other. And so I didn't know I was going to do that project last year. It kind of just happened. I was writing one night and I said, all right, let's do it. And that in itself was kind of cathartic as well, because this world was at a standstill, and in many ways still is. But I needed to unleash my artistic energy, and so that's what I did. Other projects that I've done over the years, I had an episode of The Wire where I played a crackhead. I was a cast member in the films Rounding First and goodness, I can't even. Underground Kings, which was shot in Philadelphia, and some others. A lot of indies. Debaters was a mainstream project for me, but most of the projects that I've been a part of have been independent film, and independent film is something I know all about because it's all I've ever done as an artist.
So do you have a preference between being in front of or behind the camera?
Honestly, I truly love acting and directing from an equal standpoint, but writing has always been my first love. And so if someone said to me, well, Robert, you can only do one thing for the rest of your life, then I would want it to be writing, because I can create as many characters, as many stories and situations as I want to. But I love becoming new characters, transforming into different people and becoming people who I never would be in real life, doing things and saying things that I could never picture doing and saying in my real life. So that's part of the reason why I love being on camera as well. And directing is just an extension of my writing pursuits because it allows me to help shape stories and performances. And I've been told that I'm a pretty good director, so okay.
No, that you are. And I know in addition to the film that you just spoke of, you also have your web series and different links on your website.
Yes, a lot of my projects are on my website, robertxgolphin.com. I did an award-winning series called Voice of Majesty, which was an homage to Marian Anderson, the great American contralto, and that's on my website. It's on YouTube as well, other places. I did another web series called The Counterparts several years ago, and so I've done 2 web series now, and it was I missed the boat in terms of the web series action. I was still making short films when web series really took off, and I kind of regret not having done a web series before, because when I did it, it was really an experiment to see, well, what is this all about? But it was so after the fact. I was still making short films, and web series, many of them have gone on to become network shows. I look at someone like Issa Rae, who started off on YouTube, and now look at her. So I feel like I've always been ahead of the curve with a lot of my art, but then sometimes I'm trying to catch up.
But you use the A word. That's the problem.
What's that?
You use the A word. That's the problem. You're a true artist.
Oh.
You do what's in your heart. So that's there's a level of compromise that comes with that.
Absolutely.
Art versus commerce.
The whole thing of art versus commercial, art versus trending. It's a lot to think about when you're trying to come up with projects.
Right, but you have a tremendous body of work.
I've tried to stretch my muscles here and there and do things that are different, and that's good in a way. But sometimes I have to go back to what I know is me, because the minute you take yourself out of what you're doing, the unique factor really is gone. You are the unique factor. It's you.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Robert, for taking the time to hang out with us here on the Reelblack podcast. And
Mike, can I say real quick, thank you for I've thanked you before, but thank you for all the opportunities you gave me as an on-air correspondent for Reelblack, talking to people like Ruby D and John Singleton. I will never forget that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, very good times. Very good times. Well, Freshman Friday on Amazon Prime, and Robert's other work is at robertxgolphin.com.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Got vegetarian food there, girl?
What?
There's something about their Freshman Friday kisses.
I got biscuits, bitch.
You chose to attend St. Allen's College. Historically black. Why?
My whole life, all I heard was my family talk about all the fun times they had. How good it felt to be around 3,000 positive black folks pursuing a common goal.